I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors.
The Rum Diary was the site of the notable exchange of introductions between today's two most reported and well-known actors, but maybe not for their skills in acting, and rather the bitter truth and grudge-bearing relationship. Yep, of course, it's of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial that thankfully saw its end on the 1st of June. Amber Heard's masquerade was something that she couldn't keep up for long, and after 2 months, the gavel slams with justice being rightfully served to Johnny Depp.
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10.
But here we are going to talk about another key event that occurred during this entire ordeal. It's of the trial and its reference with Aquaman star Jason Momoa. What makes things interesting is that though Amber was the co-star for the same movie mentioned before, he was against her. Well, for those of you who are biting your nails with smiles or scratching your heads, we've got one thing to say to you. Buckle up because this is gonna be quite perplexing. Before we pull the lever to start this roller coaster, we just wanted to tell you guys to obliterate that subscribe button and to turn on post notifications so that you can be first to hear about all the latest news and things you may have missed out on. Also, show that like button some love by giving it a click. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's continue again. Let's start everything off with a recap. Heard penned the op-ed, or opposite the editorial page, that is at the center of the defamation case for the Washington Post. I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, she writes in the op-ed. In her article, Heard discusses her experiences with abuse throughout her life, from childhood to maturity. Depp's name isn't, however, mentioned in this op-ed. Heard, at the heart of the piece, calls for help for women who are victims of domestic violence. We have an opening now to bolster and build institutions protective of women. For starters, Congress can reauthorize and strengthen the Violence Against Women Act, is what she has written. Depp sues Heard the subsequent year of 2019 for defamation, alleging that the Post article was a scheme by Heard to gain positive publicity. Depp also alleges that she is the aggressor rather than the victim of domestic abuse. Depp is seeking damage compensation of $50 million, only to have Heard countersue for double of what Depp seeks. And on April 11, the trials officially began, and after nearly 2 months, the jury reaches a verdict. Depp was awarded $5 million in punitive damages and $10 million in compensatory damages after the jury unanimously found that Heard defamed him. In her counterclaim, the jury awarded Heard $2 million in compensatory damages, but no punitive damages. And now, let's look at Jason Momoa. He is the lead actor in the Aquaman movie, which was DC Extended Universe's highest-grossing film, amassing a total of $1.148 billion, and its popularity didn't only benefit Jason, but also a primary role playing Amber. But things soon went confusing. How so? Well, let's listen to this tweet made by Johnny Depp. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed. All in the blink of an eye. False, very serious, and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. His feelings about the incident are well understood from this part of the tweet, but he continues to write, and 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of my legal hurdles that I would be facing, and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owe to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. Amber, on the other hand, tweeted the following. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Well, what does this have anything to do with Jason? Well, he liked both of these tweets. This is what dumbfounded Jason's fans. Some even were angered by this. Who knows, maybe Amber might also be angry at Jason for leaving a like on Johnny's post? Of course, this is just speculation, and Amber hasn't actually mentioned it all that much. In addition to all of this bamboozlement throughout the trial and the making of Aquaman 2, Momoa has been a major advocate of Heard. Following Amber's claim that the defamation lawsuit had harmed her screen time as Mera, DC Movies president James Hamada testified that Amber was drastically removed from the sequel to Aquaman due to lack of chemistry. Momoa and Aquaman director James Wan, on the other hand, were adamant that she should be in the film, according to testimony. Both James and Jason were dedicated to Amber, according to Hollywood expert Catherine Arnold, who testified during the trial. But now here's some otherwise recent news. Following the Johnny Depp trial, it has been reported that Amber Heard has been cut from Aquaman 2. For the time being, consider it a rumor or a theory of sorts, although the information comes from a fairly trustworthy scooper via Twitter who claims to have been in contact with a source who claims that a recent meeting at WB revealed that all of Amber Heard's sequences as Mera in Aquaman 2 will be erased. The jury awarded Johnny Depp $15 million in his defamation action against Amber Heard, finding that she behaved with malice and that her charges were baseless. During the trial, it was also revealed that Amber Heard only has a minor role as Mera in Aquaman 2, only appearing at the beginning and end of the film. So if Heard is only in the film for about 10 minutes or so, it wouldn't be too difficult to cut all the Mera scenes, as it sounds like Heard only has a minor role that means nothing for the sequel. Heard initially claimed that it was because of Johnny Depp that her role in Aquaman 2 was reduced, and that she was freed from her Aquaman contract, but Hamada refuted this, claiming that Heard was never released from her contract. What I believe happened was that Heard completed her Aquaman contract and then it expired, or she was fired, but Heard lied about it in order to make Johnny look terrible, which isn't the truth. Regardless, Heard's contract has now ended and it hasn't been renewed, which means whatever happens with Aquaman 2 could be the actress's final appearance in the DCEU. Again, these are not fully confirmed but can be valid theories. But here's another funny thing that surfaced during the course of this trial on social media. A fake video clip imagines what might happen if Jason Momoa was the latest celebrity to testify in Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's defamation trial. Momoa appears in the video via a video link and footage from a prior Zoom interview. The rest of the video's audio has been dubbed over, including Momoa's testimony, Heard's lawyer's queries, and Depp's repressed laughter. The initial 2-minute video had gathered nearly 450,000 views on YouTube, but it has gotten an additional 5.2 million views after being posted on TikTok. George M. from Michigan has been making dubbed films on YouTube for 16 years, but his channel has exploded in popularity in recent years. YouTube monetized Mark Hamill's channel after a dubbed Mark Hamill reaction video received millions of views. He claims that he made these tapes of the Depp-Heard trial since it was within his field of expertise. He discovered a chance to use his dubbing style to portray these amusing what-if scenarios. What if Jason Momoa reacted to the trial in some way? People would love to watch the real performers' reactions, but because they aren't available, he felt it would be amusing to show a mock-up of what they would look like. He creates them for himself as something he enjoys seeing, and then hopes that they will also bring a smile to others' faces and entertain them. The film dubbed Jason Momoa takes the stand, and Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial dub imagines a situation where Momoa alleges Heard defecated in the pool during one of the scenes on the production of Aquaman. The joke alludes to the allegation that Heard left fecal matter in Depp's bed, which she has rejected. Well, how was that for a ride? The trial's conclusion or verdict, as well as other sources, makes it seem as though Amber's lawyer would have to file an appeal. In other words, this might not be over just yet. You guys must be thinking, wait, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard Part 2? And to be honest with you, we'll all have to find out together. So just so that you don't miss out on that if it is to come out, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Also, check out the channel for more informative celebrity news. Leave a like as well as a comment and tell us what we missed out on or which part of the video you did enjoy. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time on another video. Until then, goodbye!